After securing a massive political victory in West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a specific, targeted promise in his victory speech. The government would take strict action against illegal infiltrators. This messaging proved highly effective in border districts. By linking undocumented immigration directly to national security threats, like smuggling and fake currency networks, the issue galvanized voters and flipped key constituencies. This diagram illustrates the issue's scale. Compared to West Bengal's total population, estimates suggest 5.7 million illegal migrants in the state and 20 million nationwide. But these solid blocks are educated guesses. The population is unrecorded, making these figures an untrackable, invisible demographic. The core administrative hurdle is that a person crossing the border illegally shares the exact same language, cultural traditions, and physical appearance as a legal Indian citizen living right next door. A highly effective political slogan has collided with an almost impossible demographic reality. To understand why the border is so porous, we have to look back to the 1947 partition of India. That event split the region and instantly created one of the most active migration corridors in the world. A massive demographic shift occurred during the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War. An estimated 10 million refugees fled across the border to escape the violence. Many of those refugees stayed permanently, settling throughout Bengal and Assam. Over decades, this established a culturally seamless population spanning both sides of the international boundary. The central government's primary solution to stop the ongoing flow of people is to build a physical barrier. The plan involves sealing off the remaining open stretches with hard infrastructure, floodlights, and smart surveillance systems. However, the construction of this physical infrastructure has stalled. Expanding the fence requires the state government of West Bengal to acquire and hand over the necessary land to the central authorities. Currently, the state government, controlled by a rival political party, is not providing those land allotments. Relying on a physical border to solve the issue fails when domestic political gridlock prevents the wall from actually being built. If the flow of people cannot be stopped at the physical border, the state is forced to try and identify undocumented individuals already living inside the country. This schematic shows how the National Register of Citizens is designed to work. It acts as a verification funnel, requiring residents to provide rigorous proof of citizenship, with those lacking documents dropping into a separate rejected category. This process is coupled with the Citizenship Amendment Act, which serves as a protective net granting status to specific persecuted minorities from neighboring countries. Both policies generated massive, highly visible protests across the country, but the entire paperwork strategy relies on an assumption that fails in practice. Millions of people in this region do not possess universal, standardized documentation, relying instead on a varied, localized patchwork of identity cards. Because the region shares the Bengali language and long-standing cultural traditions, authorities cannot use visual or linguistic profiling to determine who belongs. The massive scale of internal Indian migration adds another layer of confusion. A legal citizen moving from Uttar Pradesh or Bihar into West Bengal for work could easily be misidentified as a foreign national. Implementing a rigid paperwork requirement in this environment guarantees an enormous rate of false positives. Legal citizens inevitably get caught in the dragnet and face losing their rights simply because they lack the proper files. A paperwork-based dragnet deployed across a culturally homogeneous and historically undocumented population creates a severe administrative bottleneck. Even if the government perfectly executes this strategy and accurately identifies every single illegal migrant, it immediately hits a final logistical wall. What do you do with them once they are caught? You cannot unilaterally deport someone. The destination country, in this case Bangladesh, must formally agree to take them back. Bangladesh requires undeniable, documented proof of a person's origin before accepting a deportee. But the very definition of an illegal migrant means they lack that exact documentation. Without a viable deportation process, millions of individuals risk becoming entirely stateless, facing the prospect of being held indefinitely in domestic detention centers. Attempting mass detentions on this scale threatens severe human rights violations. pushing the issue aggressively also risks fracturing the carefully rebuilt diplomatic and economic relationship between India and Bangladesh. Promising strict action against infiltrators serves as an extremely potent tool for consolidating votes. But attempting to execute that promise leaves millions of human lives caught in the gap between a political slogan and a deeply entrenched geographic reality.